kind of a bit of a surprise?
Yeah, I think so. But, Tony, you can just kind of see it in his riding, man. You get to that point, and I'm glad, me and Tony was teammates for a long time and was pretty close. And he was a great teammate, a great person. He's a better person than he is rider. There's a lot of things happen when we were teammates, and he was always there to try to lift me up or be there, and I really appreciate that.
Well, that says a lot. He's a Moto2 world champion, a MotoAmerica Superbike champion, and a better person even than a rider. That says something special. Danny Eslick able to get going. That's great news for Danny to try and be able to get out, and at least he'll start. Might have to be in the back of this race, but Baggers coming up. What are you looking at?
Well, I think Kyle kind of played his strategy yesterday. Is that going to work today? Tyler kind of seen it. Bobby Fong has been fast all weekend. Had that crash before the race yesterday. I think that kind of hurt his chances in the race. Just wasn't the same. So it's going to be different. Hayden Gillum broke the track record this morning. So there's a lot of stories. And James Rispoli even yesterday was running the same times as the leader. So there's a lot that's going to happen in this race, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Travis Wyman getting the win in Stock 1000, his first win in a couple of years. Very emotional for him. He's going to have something special to think about here as well. So, as you said, lots of great stories, and they are about to unfold here as the final race of this great weekend for MotoAmerica at Road America concludes.
It's time for the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. This round is MotoAmerica Superbikes at Road America from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at the famed Road America circuit as Mission King of the Baggers is on deck. These motorcycles getting ready to thunder down some long straightaways. Hey, everybody, welcome to the broadcast. I'm Greg White, standing alongside two-time world champ Jason Pridmore. Now, Jason, here we are in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, the home of Harley-Davidson, just down the street. They wanted to do well, and they got themselves a nice win yesterday.
But it was a little closer than I think they wanted to. The Indian of Tyler O'Hara led this race from the start yesterday, Greg. As you'll see in our highlights here, Tyler's hungry for a win, and he had his teammate Jeremy Williams jump right in behind him. Kyle Wyman got by Rispoli and McWilliams early, and these two ran off into the front. Now, the big thing was on the last lap, O'Hara was protecting going into turn 8. Got him in there a little bit too tight. He runs wide. Kyle was able to cut back up underneath him and run his way to the finish line to get Harley the coveted win they want here.
Only a half a second the margin of victory. Very close in this class this season for Kyle Wyman, but he gets it done, and he was so pumped. And even after the race, Jason, he ran down the fence line and high-fived a bunch of fans. It was awesome. So this is the way the championship point standings look. There have been 5 races. It's 25 points max. Kyle Wyman's got a DNF in the first one, but he's won out 4 in a row, JP.
Yeah, and I think the big question today is when you start looking at him trying to build on this points lead is if the same scenario comes again, where is Kyle going to actually be able to make this pass? Because O'Hara will be waiting for it.
Well, Jay, it's Road America. It's freshly paved. It's amazing. Let's take a look at this 4.0-mile racetrack.
Yeah, these big bikes, wrestling them around here is got to be a lot of work, but they go down these big, long straightaways, Greg. Turn 5, obviously, is a key passing area. Turn 8, where we saw the incident yesterday between O'Hara and Wyman getting in there. Then that big, long carousel, running through that thing as fast as you can to set up a pass maybe into that chicane. The run down to Canada Corner in turn 12 offers another opportunity. And then, of course, turn 14, so key to get out of there to get up that straightaway as quickly as you can.
Yeah, it was built in 1955, but it feels brand new in 2023. Can the number 1 plate stand on top of the podium one more time? We're getting ready to find out after this.
Yeah, you think about baggers running around here. I mean, one of the popular destinations here for motorcycle rides is up at Door County, and some of the others. It just seems kind of fitting, doesn't it, Roger, to have these baggers out on a track like Road America, which emulates just riding around the roads here in the Kettle Moraine Forest area with a bit of pace.
Yeah, and then also being in Harley's backyard as well, I think makes it a little bit more special. And this race today, the Harley versus Indian rivalry has been big in this King of the Baggers class, and it's made it really exciting to watch, because you can see how bad each team wants to beat the other.
Well, it's big everywhere, but you come here to Harley's backyard. Obviously, the Harley-Davidson riders want to bring home the win. The Indian riders want more than anything to deny it, and that's what makes this so compelling. So let's find out how it plays out here at Road America. It's baggers time.
Mission King of the Baggers coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. By Geico. Visit geico.com to see how easy covering your ride can be. And by Drag Specialties, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket parts and accessories for Harley-Davidson and custom V-twin motorcycles.
All right, motorcycles are on course in their warm-up lap. Let's get right down to Hannah Lopa, who's got a report for us. What's going on, Hannah?
Well, Bobby Fong has been our pole sitter all weekend long and been at the top of the time charts. He suffered a DNF in yesterday's race after some issues that he had in qualifying were carried over. The team went to work overnight and hopefully got those issues resolved, and also made some changes to hopefully get him to get that bike stopped so he can turn a little bit better. Only time will tell if it's resolved for the race, but so far, as far as this morning's warm-up goes, things seem to be all good for Bobby Fong.
Yeah, Jade, we know it's a lot different when you're by yourself going fast laps versus a raceable motorcycle.
No question, but that guy on your screen there on the 79 on the Vance and Hines Harley-Davidson, this morning Hayden Gillum was showing some real speed. But for Bobby, yeah, we saw him run straight yesterday in turn 5, and man, it almost looks like his airbag's gone off.
It does, doesn't it?
It almost looks like the airbag has gone off in Bobby Fong's suit.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It went off for some reason because Bobby is not that much of a beefcake. He's trying to get the air out of the airbag in his suit.
Oh, that is such a bummer right there. And
not quite sure why that ended up happening.
That's not ideal.
And Bobby actually works for Day and Easy in the D-Air suit, so he's trying to get ready to roll. This is going to be an interesting couple of corners as your mobility is cut a little bit down by the deployment of the airbag. Mission King of the Baggers race number 2 underway at Road America. 5 laps scheduled in this one. Jay, what are you seeing?
Man, McWilliams got a tremendous start on the 99, but you're going to see Bobby Fong, air suit going off and everything. He's going to hole shot him down into turn 1. It looks like 3 Indians, Greg, that have gone through into turn 1 together. Bobby Fong, Jeremy McWilliams, Tyler O'Hara. Then we have 3 Harley-Davidsons in the factory by Kyle Wyman there. He's going to get past right now as James Rispoli slides it up underneath the 33 of the factory Harley-Davidson, and Hayden Gillum on that second Vance and Hines Harley-Davidson as well.
So Bobby Fong on the Sacramento Mile SDI Racing Roland Sands Indian Challenger is leading the way. So a good launch too by those factory Indian Progressive Mission Foods motorcycles, and the number 1 and the 99 getting after it down into turn number 5. But Bobby Fong with an inflated suit and everything is on a roll.
Yeah, and Rispoli went back up underneath Kyle Wyman as well. James had a rough start yesterday, said he was going to try to get a much better start today. Let's see if he does something with O'Hara as they head down towards turn 8. Looks like he's going to have a go as well. He does. He takes a shot at O'Hara, goes through into turn number 8. Now he's got McWilliams in front of him. If he rips through this carousel, like I feel like I think he can, he might try to do something with McWilliams going into the chicane. So we'll see if the 43 Harley can close up on the back. I don't think he's close enough this time, but all the while, Bobby Fong trying to break away at the front.
Earlier in the season, Rispoli was your championship points leader on that Vance and Hines Mission Harley-Davidson Road Glide. Of course, he won a flat track championship a few years ago on a Harley-Davidson known as Hog Spoli, who now lives in DeLand, Florida. And if you saw the race earlier this weekend of Mission King of the Baggers and were able to see James Rispoli's interview, you know that he is a cool dude.
He's quite the character. Yes, he is. And he is drawn up onto the back of McWilliams. But man, look at Bobby Fong. He has checked out. To have that big of a distraction in your program when you come to the line, I was looking at it and I'm thinking something doesn't look right there, Greg, and for sure that airbag went off, and you can see he has left this battle for second right now. Bobby Fong has checked out. He's going to have a second plus lead, so now it's really going to be up to these guys trying to draw up onto the back of McWilliams. You can see now the Harley-Davidson and Indian of the 2 factory riders, Tyler O'Hara and Kyle Wyman, are together going into 1. Wyman waits a little bit longer, gets on the brakes a little bit later, and will take that spot.
2:23.811 from a dead stop. He qualified at a 2:20.8. That's only 2.5 seconds slower than at full pace. So Bobby Fong on the gas. Tip of the cap to my fellow commentator who does IndyCar, which is going to be here at Road America in 2 weeks' time, Lee Diffie, as we are under Fong Shui. A little Diffieism for you. Bobby Fong getting after it.
Yep.
I love what I'm seeing from Jeremy McWilliams, Jason. You know, McWilliams brought so much to Mission King of the Baggers in exposure after he won Daytona last year, and it's good to see him, Hannah, out right there on the podium.
It is, and Jeremy McWilliams missed out on that Dunlop tire test that his team attended earlier last month, but he got up to speed quickly. It was just a matter of getting the bike slowed down. The same thing I mentioned for Bobby Fong. They're really having to stomp on that rear brake to get it slowed. He said the geometry is dialed, but this new surface is completely different from last year. So it's been a steep learning curve, but he's making good use of the laps that he's gotten.
Yeah, and I think, Hannah, the thing is that right now McWilliams is going to come under some pressure from these guys, but he is the veteran here by far. But here we go, Greg. This is where I think if James can take a nibble, he's going to do it down the inside of this chicane. You've seen that Harley of his, Vance and Hines Harley, getting awful sideways, and he's going to go straight to the apex, try to get down underneath McWilliams, get through, and he does. And look, just behind, Hayden Gillum does the same thing to Kyle Wyman.
Rolling.
You would have never thought we'd see Kyle Wyman and O'Hara back there battling for what, 6th place right now? So as you see, McWilliams goes back past Rispoli on the run down to Canada corner.
So James Rispoli and McWilliams.
O'Hara's in deep.
Way deep. Can he hold on to it? Whoa, over the rumble strips he goes. He gets back on the gas. That thing just spins up. And right there is Travis Wyman on the 10. So Travis Wyman on that Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle Road Glide now is right there in the mix. Keep in mind the 99 Jeremy McWilliams coming in at a very young 59 years of age on the Lucas Oil helicopter shot. James Rispoli said to me earlier, McWilliams is old, isn't he, Greg? Like 50? I was like, what do you mean like 50?
Yeah.
He's 59 years old, and McWilliams is out here showing these young bucks what it's all about. Bobby Fong, 220.3, Jason, out front.
Look at the replay on your left here. O'Hara's got 2-bike draft, and he found a spot that he could try to get this Indian and run between guys, because there was no way he was going to make that, Greg. And he's got tons of skills, but getting that bike slowed down, that heavy bike slowed down, wasn't going to happen there. Now Kyle Wyman has made his way back past Hayden Gillum on the inside of turn 14. About 3 corners ago, I saw him make that move. I think for James, he's got to try to make the move that he made earlier in turn 8. He's got to try to get close enough to McWilliams through here as they roll into turn 6. Now this next turn, he's got to be really good in turn 7. Get up the back here of McWilliams and try to do something, but McWilliams very strong out of there. I don't think James is going to be close enough again to do anything on this lap, so we might see the same move down in the chicane once again.
Rispoli, a 2-time national road race champion in his youth. And Jay out front, Bobby Fong with a 220.342, fastest lap of the race for Fong, and faster than he qualified. That was a 220.8. Look at Rispoli, the 43, trying to get that 600-plus pound motorcycle stopped. Gets it done nicely.
Has a look over his shoulder to see Kyle Wyman, and then his teammate just back there. And then you can see O'Hara is trying to make that ground up that he lost, making that small mistake down here into Canada corner. Expect a fast lap time from O'Hara this time through, as I think he'll draw up on the back of these guys by the time they get down into turn 1. Bobby Fong 2.26 seconds out front right now, 2.226 rather, and he's on his way down the road. Hannah?
For Kyle Wyman in this podium battle, you know, after the weekend that he's had, he said he wasn't really expecting to win yesterday, although it was really, you know, nice to do in Harley's backyard. He said today he's hoping for the win again, but if he can just maximize the most amount of points possible, he's in it for the long haul for this championship fight.
And it's kind of a change of fortunes. Yesterday with Kyle, he did a 221.441. And that was the fastest lap of the race. And Bobby Fong just goes 219.859. Wow. So Fong continues, by himself, continues to push the envelope and set new records, as we have seen all weekend here on this new surface at Road America.
Kyle had a run on Rispoli. We just got word that O'Hara might be out. Let's see. There's Tyler O'Hara.
Whoa.
So that's going to be, that might be coming up the front straightaway. Can't tell, but anyways, he looks like he's out. So Kyle Wyman has made the move on Rispoli down that back straightaway also. He had a run up the front straightaway on Rispoli. I think he purposely chose to stay behind him through 1 so that he could draft back by him going down into turn 5, as it looks like O'Hara got his bike started again. Not exactly sure what happened there, but now Kyle Wyman on the charge. He wants to try to get through on McWilliams.
Yeah, don't forget, of course, Wyman is leading this championship 17 over Rispoli. Tyler O'Hara was only 2 back from Rispoli in 3rd spot. So really you're looking at, for James Rispoli, he needs to do everything he can if he wants to get some of those points back in this championship.
McWilliams got a little bit out of shape there.
Oh, Rispoli out of shape.
No, that's Hayden, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that was Hayden Gillum started to 79.
Kyle?
I don't think so. I think he just kind of lost the rear on acceleration, but it didn't bother him at all because now Gillum on the Vance and Hines bike going to put himself in front of Kyle Wyman.
And Hayden was so fast this morning on his own. I watched that session again, and he just continued to push the pace. You're going to see here, McWilliams makes a mistake, and then just behind. Let's see what happens to Hayden here. Yeah, Kyle just got a little bit out of shape himself, and Hayden just took some action to go to the left of him, and then he outbrakes Kyle going down into that chicane.
Of course, these Mission King of the Baggers a little wider than your normal sport bikes with the bags on the back.
Wow, what pace Gillum had through turn 13. He's opening up the radius of this corner here too.
And he's rolling through it really well.
He really is, isn't he? Wow, you could totally see it, couldn't you?
McWilliams has a look behind him, and he's trying to give him the old, hey, why don't you follow me a little while? Now, we do know that these Indian Challengers do have some top end on the Harley-Davidsons. Final lap of this race, Fong Shui, 4.7 seconds out for Bobby Fong. The Californian continues to roll, and a 20.2 for him out front. So we're watching the battle for the podium spot. 2nd place is McWilliams on the 99. 79 is Hayden Gillum in 3rd spot. Then Kyle Wyman and James Rispoli, 33 and 43 respectively. So there's your top 2 in the championship. Now a good look at Bobby Fong, the number 50 on that Sacramento Mile SDI Racing Roland Sands Indian Challenger.
Definitely going to be a fun interview with him if he can hold on for another half a lap or so. As you can see, these guys are continuing the battle. McWilliams is doing just well enough in the spots he needs to be good in to keep those guys behind. But this guy had quite the interesting start to his race as he was coming to the line to get the green flag. He came to a stop, and it looked like the airbag of his Dainese suit went off. And now he's down into turn 8. He led from the start.
He did.
Right from the start. And here comes Hayden Gillum.
Hayden Gillum up the inside on McWilliams will make that move. But now it's really on Hayden Gillum to try to pull the pin and try. Oh, no, it was a big mistake.
Yeah, he got into a big slide on the exit there, but he's going to have another go at this. I can tell you, when they get down to the chicane, you saw what he did the last lap to Kyle. Kyle looks like he might be a little bit susceptible to Rispoli too, but Hayden decides not to go down the inside.
Here goes Rispoli, and he goes sideways, and he gets it done for the moment. Gets position and a point.
Oh, McWilliams must have made a big mistake mid-chicane there.
Oh, so Jeremy McWilliams. And he's throwing his hand in the air. We're not sure maybe if that was forcing the issue from Hayden.
He can still draft himself back up into that 3rd spot, but yeah, that could have been something that happened, huh? Hayden might have tried to go up underneath him in the right. This guy doesn't care. He's out front, Greg, by a mile.
And for Bobby Fong, he's going to have a conversation with the tech service manager for Dainese himself about what happened to that suit, but it didn't bother him. Here he comes onto the front straightaway. Bobby Fong, Mission King of the Baggers on the Indian, comes over the crest of the hill, and the checkered flag flies, and he'll take the win. And here comes that battle for 2nd spot. Motorcycles moving all over the place, and look at that draft and pass. But wait a second, it's got to be James Rispoli over Kyle Wyman.
Wow. Jeremy McWilliams ended up crashing.
We were wondering what happened to the 99.
And that looks like, is that last corner? Looks like it could be the last corner. He still had a shot at the podium. I felt like he could draft. And when we went to that aerial view, I could see that there were only 3 bikes in the shot. what a disaster for both the factory Indian riders. Let's have a look at it, Greg. On replay, this is coming through the fast turn 13, and he just I almost wonder if he drugged something, because that's the kind of crash that it looked like, to see the rear of the bike spin around on him like that, right?
Yeah, right. And you know he's trying to get maximum lean angle and corner speed to try to make up some of that gap. But it's going to be Bobby Fong, James Rispoli, Kyle Wyman, although, Jay, it's 0.01 of a second, the difference between Rispoli and Kyle Wyman. I'm sure that MotoAmerica Timing and Scoring is going to have a look and make sure that that's the order. All right, we'll step away. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bobby Fong about his big win. What a race for him.
Roger, what an incredible comeback for Bobby Fong after putting the bike on pole and then having his problems right before the challenge race. Obviously, then chasing things, having a decent run this morning in the warm-up, but having Hayden Gillim being so fast, and then Bobby comes back with, for this class over just 5 laps, pretty dominant win.
Pretty dominant win, and this is kind of the pace we've seen out of Bobby this week so far. You know, both practice Friday morning and then also the first qualifier on Friday seemed to be kind of dominate quickest right away, and kind of I think that crash yesterday in the second qualifier before the Mission Challenge kind of ruined his first race. You see Jeremy McWilliams' bike there. That is a fast corner to crash right there, losing the rear there. But I think you see McWilliams in second, and I think see Hayden right here on the outside second.
Yeah, he did an outside pass into the chicane.
Jeremy was blocking, and then Jeremy tried to lean on him, and Hayden was there. And Hayden, you can lean on Hayden, but it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
he's a sturdy lad.
Yeah, and he lost some spots, but I think Hayden surprised him. You know what I mean? Around the outside, we were talking about. You see Jeremy McWilliams going to be the fourth rider in the screen. Rear end just steps out, just slides around, and man, he went for a ride. And you know what? We talk about the pavement job here at this track, but you look at the runoff.
Yeah.
All that has been moved, and it's a great job getting him the space, and he doesn't have to hit anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if that had been a high side, it would have been monstrous. So that was the one thing. And Josh Hayes has said that the grip here, it's awesome until it's not, and then it just goes suddenly. So, but for Bobby Fong, talk about redemption, nailed it. We'll hear from him in a minute.
Mission King of the Baggers coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. By Geico. Visit geico.com to see how easy covering your ride can be. And by Drag Specialties, an industry-leading distributor of aftermarket parts and accessories for Harley-Davidson and custom V-twin motorcycles.
Celebrations for the Sac Mile STI Racing Roland Sands Indian team as Bobby Fong rolls in. And what a race, and what a start to that race, Jason. I mean,
crazy. It's going to be fun to listen to what he has to say about that.
So Bobby Fong ends up winning by 5.7 seconds and getting the fastest lap of a Mission King of the Baggers around Road America. Rispoli, Wyman, Hayden Gillim, Travis Wyman, 12 seconds back. Corey West, and unfortunately for Jeremy McWilliams, who had a great race, you saw that he crashed out late in this race, late in the last lap. But what a run for Bobby Fong. What a rebound, Jason, for his team after sitting on pole and then having a bit of a day yesterday. Let's get right down to Winner's Circle with Bobby Fong.
It's been an up and down weekend, certainly for Bobby Fong, but ending it on a high note with the race win. Bobby, you led that race from start to finish. Tell us about it.
No, it was a good race. We had a good pace, and it felt easy. We started this morning on some old tires, and just usually that's kind of like the game plan going into race to get used to how the bike's going to slide around and stuff. So it was good. The bike's working good, the crew's working good. It was a roller coaster of a weekend, and I didn't want to be in the mess. I knew it was going to be close racing out there, so I just wanted to get my head down. It was weird because going to the grid, I just did my little warm up, and my airbag came off right at the grid, so I'm trying to get it down and stuff. So I was a little worried about that, but overall it was a good weekend, and looking forward to Laguna.
We were wondering what happened with the airbag out there. How difficult was it on those opening laps as far as mobility goes with the airbag deployed inside the suit?
The first lap was a little tough, but weirdly it came down pretty quick. Usually it takes a little bit longer, but after the first lap it was okay.
Congratulations, Bobby Fong. Today's race winner, second place today, goes to Hogspoli, James Rispoli. And it was one heck of a battle with your teammate and another Harley-Davidson of Kyle Wyman out there. What gave you the upper hand?
Hayden Gillum, man, that was an absolute scrap. Bobby decided to, put his head down and get gone, and Mick Williams was running a strong race. The dude came out of nowhere, and it was cool. But he had such a good gap on us already, and it just became a dogfight between myself, Mick Williams, and then Hayden joined the fight and Kyle, and man, that last lap was a barn burner. We going through the carousel. I'm surprised all three of us are standing here. We all lost the rear huge, and Hayden made such a big move on Mick Williams. It actually got myself back up to the front, and he made a big mistake in the last two corners, and I was able to draft him and just eke out on Kyle to get second place. But man, what a scrap. That's why we come here. All the fans have stuck around, man. That's why we do this. It's for you guys, man. So thank you for sticking around, and baggers are here, baby.
Congratulations, James Rispoli, and rounding out your Mission Foods King of the Baggers podium, Kyle Wyman. Kyle, quite the battle to the line there with James Rispoli, but you managed to pull off the podium. And while it's not a win that you were probably hoping for, are you happy with this performance and this points haul?
Oh, I'm super happy. That was such a fun race. Man, we haven't had a real battle like that on baggers, and we were all just hanging on for dear life there towards the end, just trying not to high side these things. I can't even recall everything that happened on that last lap. It got so crazy down there. So, super happy to get the Harley-Davidson another podium. I think we've got a pretty good point situation going into Laguna, which has been a really good track for us. So can't thank the Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle guys enough. Olin's USA, Alpine Stars, and 6D helmets for keeping me safe. And congratulations to these guys. Let's go to Laguna Seca.
Congratulations, Kyle Wyman, guys.
You got to love it. If you don't win, always put a smile on your face, because that was incredible racing.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and what a fun race it was. So look at the championship point standings, Rispoli trimmed it a little 4 points there off of Kyle that race, so 13 points headed to Laguna Seca. Hayden Gillum, got to feel kind of bad for Hayden. He's 27 points back, but he's come so close this year to some really good results even today. O'Hara takes the big hit today, but Bobby Fong jumps himself up, although he is 53 points back. It really looks like three guys right now.
All right, we're going to step away from Road America here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, but we have more coverage from Mission King of the Baggers in a minute.
Medallia Superbike coverage is brought to you by Medallia, the pioneer in customer and employee experience. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by Geico Motorcycle. Visit geico.com to see how easy covering your ride can be.
Wow, what a run, what a win by Bobby Fong, and what a battle behind them. That was absolutely spectacular. Next race for the MotoAmerica Championship as a whole. We're at, right now, one of the most scenic racetracks in the Midwest, certainly. Just a phenomenal place. Our next race coming up in about 3 weeks, Roger, is going to be in another incredibly scenic area in the foothills of the Olympic Mountains out in Washington State. Very different track, though.
Very different track, but still an awesome track, new to the series, and it's a really fun one. I actually got to ride it a couple years ago, and I love that track.
The Ridge Motorsports Park coming up next, so it is going to be something special out there. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Creamer with Roger Hayden, Lorette Nickel, doing an absolutely incredible job. Let's get back to Greg and Jason Pridmore.
Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Mission King of the Baggers with Bobby Fong in a 5.79 second victory and airbag deploying. And Bobby said post-race that he thought it was pretty easy, Jay. Not really sure that was the case, but
I think he didn't want to be part of the fight. And I think that first lap was everything. And to have that distraction on the line just goes to show Bobby Fong's experience. And, he did a good job of just controlling that. I mean, to win by 5.7 seconds in a 5-lap race is something else.
It is definitely something else. And of course, if you go to MotoAmerica.com, you can check out where Mission King of the Baggers will race next. Kyle Wyman had mentioned it in his post-race interview that July 7th and 9th, we're going to be at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for MotoAmerica Superbike Speed Fest at Monterey. Jason, and the thing is that we know that Kyle Wyman goes really good at that racetrack.
Yeah, he's incredible there, and he'll be tough. But I think so will everybody. Newly repaved Laguna Seca.
Newly repaved Laguna Seca. Well, that'll do it for us from the amazing Road America. For Hannah, Jason, I'm Greg. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you July 8th and 9th.
Congratulations.